So last month, we actually crossed our 13th year in business. I actually remember launching Wholesale Investor on the week of the 4th to the 8th of October in 2008. And if you can remember that week, as we were launching, the actual Dow Jones was dropping 18% in that week. And I know that people thought we were mad for the idea of launching a private equity sort of venture capital magazine at that point. And crossing that milestone of 13 years, I thought it's a perfect time to update on what we see as the vision in the future for Wholesale Investor going forward. And what's a real key turning point for us is everything that we've been working on behind the scenes is really about how do we create more opportunities for the ecosystem to actually engage with us as a company. And there's several different ways that we can do that. What I want to do as a first step is I just want to provide context to Wholesale Investor. So as I mentioned, we did start out as a magazine. So from 2008 to 2012, we were producing publications every 2 months, and then we actually went to every month. And in 2012, we were hearing about these success stories that were coming through as far as investors discovering companies via the magazine, but we had no visibility and no track over it whatsoever. The craziest one I heard was of a Singaporean listed company investing into an Australian private business, and I said I had no data over it whatsoever. Then 2012 to 2018 was 2019 really was a really interesting point for us because we then moved to online to offline. So we would generate interest for our clients online, but then we would run showcase events offline. To give you some context, in 2018 alone, we ran 46 showcase events across 7 different countries. That year almost killed me. But that was the length and I suppose energy we were willing to put into building the ecosystem and creating opportunities for companies that were looking to access capital and looking to access strategic partners, etc. The big milestone crosser for us was in 2014, we started taking Australian companies international. And that's how we ended up going to so many countries. And 2016, we had Investec become a shareholder. And Investec is obviously a London Stock Exchange listed investment bank. That was such a key milestone for us because it really gave credibility to a lot of the work that we were doing and also to, how can I say, the ambitions and the plans for our future as a company. In 2017, we were very proud to have BMYG join us, which is a venture capital fund out of Melbourne. And in 2019, we had INP Capital join our register, which is a Canadian venture capital fund. Those have all been 3 key milestones for us from the investor side. The other key milestone for us was in 2019 was when we launched CRIISP. Now, CRIISP stands for Capital Raising Intelligent Investment Secondary Platform. And I think in the name of CRIISP, we actually really set what we believe was the actual vision for what we wanted to achieve with the actual platform. So the key question that we ask ourselves every day as a company is, how do you scale capital raising? How do you remove friction from the process? And how do you do it globally? They are the 3 questions that we ask ourselves every single day. And the underlying mission from everything that we do is about how can we empower ambition, capital, and innovation. They are the 3 fundamentals of everything we do. And from a vision perspective, everything we do is about creating an opportunity for tomorrow. So if you align those 3 different elements, you can understand why a platform approach or a software-driven approach was so important for what we were looking to do for the future. Because when you do events, there's only so many events that you can do in the space of a 12-month period. With software and a marketplace, a 3-sided marketplace like we have created, what you've effectively got is an exponential opportunity. Because what's beautiful about software, as we all know, and why you guys are passionately investing into it in your own personal lives and why it's been such a success story, whether it be in private venture capital markets and so forth, is that it is working for you 24/7. And I think one of the biggest problems for most founders that they face is that their capital raising is only working for them when they're working on it. As I mentioned, the way we've thought about it is how do we help companies have their capital raising working for them 24/7 and then create more and more opportunities for them in the future. So in 2020, one of the most challenging circumstances was thrown at us, which I'm sure you're all aware of by now, which we've been dealing with for the last 2 years. That challenging circumstance also created one of the greatest opportunities for us. We knew at some point we had to take our business completely online, right? And what that did was when COVID started to impact us and we had to send everyone home and we had to transform, we literally transformed the business across a 4-day period. And we hosted our first virtual showcase within 2 weeks. And what that really spoke to was the agility of our team, but also our commitment to making sure that from a client's perspective and also from an ecosystem's perspective, that it was almost going to feel like we wanted to create that bubble of it was just business as usual, right? We just had to operate slightly differently, but however, it was just going to be business as usual. Fortunately, that pivot really worked for us. And more than that, it helped us accelerate our growth. All focused on helping to build that mission of what I've talked about before of empowering innovation, capital, and ambition. And what it also did was it sped up our tech investment. And one of the biggest initiatives that we undertook across this period is that we took the data. So for the last 8 years, we've been basically collecting data on every action that takes place within the platform because we knew at some point we wanted to leverage AI and machine learning to help convert that data into actionable, relevant introductions for our investor database. So we started that investment, and now we're super excited to say that the AI ML is actually working on our CRIISP platform. And while some of you may not have seen it yet, obviously it's already in motion, and we've got some early results as far as the difference between preference matchmaking and AI matchmaking, and it is incredible to say the least as the difference it's already making. When I'm talking about the future of Wholesale Investor, I want to really talk about what 2022 and beyond looks like. Some of the biggest friction points for us has been because we have grown so fast, and I'm sure others have experienced as well, we've basically at the moment got 2 different websites, and obviously the first step we'll be doing is be bringing those 2 websites together. So going forward, there'll be no difference between the WI CRIISP, it will be all on the Wholesale Investor page. It will effectively be Wholesale Investor will be powered by CRIISP, right? And obviously CRIISP is owned by Wholesale Investor. And with that, we're going to be doing several different things. Number one, it makes it much easier for you as an investor. We're actually going to be automating a lot of the introductions to the opportunities. Part of the real ambition for us is we want to reduce the amount of emails that we have to curate and send as a business, because obviously it takes a lot of work. And more than that, where we're moving to is all about relevancy. And I think that's an important distinction because this space has typically been driven by personal networks, right? It's like who knows who that I can provide an introduction to. Whereas the way we see the future of capital raising and venture investment is it's all about relevancy. Because if you're an investor in Hong Kong and you love a fintech opportunity that's in Australia that you think would be relevant to Hong Kong, we want you to discover that opportunity. Or if you're a company in the UK and you're looking at ASEAN as a market, and if you're an investor that's looking at bringing companies from whether it be UK or wherever into the ASEAN market, we want to make sure that that relevancy takes place on the platform. And that's one of the beautiful things about the combination of the preference and the AI matchmaking is that its job is to facilitate that and work for you as an investor 24/7. So not only is the platform working for companies 24/7, it's also working for you as an investor. So the more and like with all things, it's no different to going to the gym. The more active you're with it, the more results you're going to get from it. Really simply, that's the first part, is the AI matchmaking. The second component for us that's really important is we're going to be creating a community element to what we do. Now, we're doing this in partnership with Newtopia. Effectively, we're building out a lot of education for both the investor and also our company, our client sort of ecosystem, because what we've realized is we've got incredible intelligent capital inside of our ecosystem that without even thinking about it will endlessly add value to opportunities in different ways, whether it be as mentors, whether it be as advisors, whether it be as directors, whether it be as investors. It's amazing. One of the most beautiful things I've seen over the last 13 years is the role that our ecosystem plays in actually adding value to our clients. And it goes far beyond just the capital. I've seen international strategic relationships, I've seen commercial relationships, I've seen joint ventures which have absolutely transformed the profile of businesses, all come from our ecosystem. And to me, that is what excites me more about creating this community aspect. So going forward, we will be providing you the opportunity to directly engage with our clients, right? As an investor, basically direct access to the company's early access via this community platform, as well as being an advisor, mentor, etc. in your area of specialty. So From my perspective, if you're looking to add value to companies throughout their growth and you're looking to get to know them a little bit more intimately, this is the most perfect platform to actually do it. So we'll be releasing that in early 2022. The other big change for us in the last 12 months is we acquired our own Australian financial services license. Now, the reason we did that is we wanted to create the opportunity for secondary sales, which you would have already seen coming out through the database. We also wanted to provide the opportunity for you to invest alongside other well-known investors in the space. So quite often in this area, we get the feeling like some of the top VCs or some of the leading investment groups get access to some of the hottest companies that you may not get access to. Well, via our syndicates program, we're going to be creating that opportunity for you as an investor so that you can actively participate in the companies and at a lesser ticket size than what you would if you were going direct. And as I said, most of these opportunities, you won't be able to get access to them. So, for us, it's about creating that exclusive access and creating a bit of an opening for our investors to participate in opportunities they may not normally get access to. Now, the last part to this is obviously we've launched our own fund in conjunction with Hatcher Plus. It's the HNWI ANZ fund. We did this because, as I mentioned, the power that I've seen in our ecosystem is the way in which it adds value to the companies. And I knew that there'll be some investors that want to get an early look into some of the investment companies that we're going to be investing into. And then they may want to invest alongside or proactively participate on that company, whether it be as advisors, board positions, etc. Our job is just simply, whilst we're looking to invest, our job is also to enable that opportunity as well. So there's some of the things that we're doing on the WI Capital front. And on the team front, I mentioned here how we've grown our team. We also launched an office in the UK, and we've now got 6 team members in the UK. And I'm super excited about that because we've been working behind the scenes for that for the last 3 years. So that's created another new layer of opportunity. And then the other part we've always been passionate about is obviously ASEAN. And we're also working on some strategic relationships for Canada as well. So as I said, for you as an investor, or for you as a director, or for you as a founder, or for you as a deal maker, I said everything that we're doing going forward is about enabling opportunity and facilitating it. And then also doing our best to make sure that you can be as active or inactive with us directly as you want. The last part to WI Capital is that obviously we have built our own software. We do have our own distribution. We do have an incredible three-sided ecosystem with obviously investors, companies, and also industry as well. So we're going to be providing the opportunity for advisors, for quality advisors, to potentially become corporate authorized reps, under the WI, under WI Capital and WI Markets. So, that's another initiative that's going to be an opportunity going forward. So if you're currently a deal maker in a large firm and you're looking to go out on your own, sometimes that can be quite intimidating because you can't take quite all your networks and you're basically going into operations sort of by yourself. Well, our job is we want to facilitate that because, as I said, there's so many different assets that we can bring to the table as part of that process. So that's some of the things that we've been working on behind the scenes. And as I said, everything that we're doing going forward is about obviously being software driven, obviously utilizing AI and ML, but it's more about us providing you as a platform to engage with us as actively or as inactively as you wish. I'm super happy for you to sit there and obviously get access to our opportunities and receive notifications about what new deals are coming up and participate as you have been. And look, we're pumped at the moment. Every single week we're getting a new success story coming out from our ecosystem. This week alone, we've had almost one a day come through. And that's what fires me up because everything we do is about creating an opportunity for tomorrow. Every email we send, every idea we have from a product side, even this video is in alignment with that. So I hope that in doing that, I did do an hour-long presentation on this, but I knew you may not sit there for an hour. But I hope that gives some context as far as what the future of WI holds and what we've been passionately working on behind the scenes for the last 6 to 12 months that you may have been unaware of. And as I said, this next stage is we're going to be doing what we can to provide you with the platform to engage with us directly. And as I said, be as active or as inactive as you wish. I really appreciate the time that you took to watch this video, and I appreciate you caring about the future of what we're looking to build. I said, I hope we can be actively engaged together going forward.